So what other things are you interested in besides, like, reading and, like, are you interested in sports or anything?
I'm interested in the next year, I think, or this year, we're going to do gymnastics.
You're going to do gymnastics?
Yeah.
Have you ever done it before?
Yeah, I done it once, and my mom said gymnastics or dance because we couldn't do both, so I had to pick dance.
Oh. Okay, so now we're going to try gymnastics. Awesome. So, how do you feel about reading? How do you feel about it?
I like it because when you read, you get to answer some questions and find out new things. And sometimes you can read for fun.
Okay. What kind of questions do you answer?
Sometimes we answer what is it about, what does it do, and why does it do that.
How did you learn to ask those questions?
You just think of a question, and then when it tells you in a book, sometimes it just doesn't say the answer. You had to really read.
Oh, okay. So, what kind of books do you read?
Sometimes I read like books. Sometimes, one time I read Peace Week in Miss Potts's class, and then
What is it?
Peace Week in Miss Potts's class.
What is Peace Week?
It's where everybody was really naughty, and you had to be peaceful in your class.
Oh.
So she made that up, so all of them will do everything right.
What kind of books do you like to read?
I like to read non-fiction, so it's not real.
Fiction?
I like to read fake things. It's more fun to make up things than think of things that are real.
Yeah. Do your parents like to read?
Yeah, they like to read. I see my mom. She doesn't really read real books, but sometimes she reads on her phone. And my dad, he reads on his iPad.
What kind of things do you see your parents reading? Like you said on their iPad, what are they reading on their iPad?
They're reading, sometimes my dad reads like football stuff, or he reads about movies sometimes. And sometimes my mom reads some stories that are scary, some stories that are love stories, and then my sister reads too on her iPad.
She does? What kind of books does your sister read?
I think they're scary books.
Scary books?
About vampires and werewolves usually.
Okay. So, when your parents are reading, what do you think they do when they come to a word they don't know?
I think they just ask each other if they both don't know. I think they go to the dictionary maybe, or they just sound it out.
They ask each other, or dictionary.
Or sound it out.
Okay. Do your parents ever read to you?
Sometimes, not all the times. Sometimes I read to myself.
When do you read to yourself?
I read to myself after school, and I read because I have to read 20 minutes.
Oh.
That's a long time.
So, how did you learn to read?
I learned how to read by reading kindergarten books, then first grade, then I'm starting to read second grade. You just learn the words, and sometimes D's and B's mess me up.
D's and B's do?
Yeah. And writing and reading.
Oh, and both. Oh, okay.
And P.
So, what did your parents do to help you learn to read?
They told me to just sound it out. They just didn't tell me because that wouldn't help helped me, I wouldn't be with them forever.
Oh, so you're saying they helped you sound it out, but they said that they can't help you, like, they can't just tell you because you need to learn for yourself.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying? Okay.
Yeah.
What about your teachers? How did they help you learn to read? How did, like, Miss Howard help you learn?
Miss Howard helped me because when I had a word I didn't know, if it had a B or a D, I just looked at my name sometimes. Because it had a D and I always write it right.
Oh. But what about when you're reading? So say you're just like reading a book. Like how did your teachers help you learn how to read that book?
They helped me. If I said something wrong, they said, how about you look at that another time?
Okay. Okay. What other reading activities do you do besides just reading? What other like activities involve reading that you do?
Yeah, sometimes there's puzzles where there's like shapes where you have to do the reading thing, where there's reading stuff. You have to write the thing and read it out loud so you know what the thing says.
I gotcha. Who usually chooses what you read in school? Like who chooses what books you read?
My teachers say that you can only read these books until you get good at them.
Which books?
Like sometimes they do in kindergarten, I had to only read over there, and if I wanted some fun books, I could read. I could have my mom and dad read it with me, but usually they're not too busy, but sometimes they aren't.
Okay, so at home your parents sometimes read to you and they help you read the books that are harder. Do you like to choose what you read, or you do?
Yeah, I like to choose, but sometimes if it's too hard, I don't like it. But I don't like it because I don't know what's going on and I don't know anything.
So why do you think people read?
People read to get better at reading, and if they didn't know how to read, how would they? If they had their own time and they asked themselves, what is reading? And they wanted to read with their adults, and they did that.
So why do you read?
I read because it's fun, and sometimes I get to do my own stuff, and I can read and write the book sometimes.
Okay.
I copy it.
That's cool. What do people do when they read?
Sometimes they read out loud, and sometimes they read in their heads because they don't want to distract other readers. And sometimes if you're too loud in the library, you'll get kicked out.
So you said they read in their head. So like when you read, what do you do inside your head when you're reading?
Sometimes I say the word and I look at it, and like if I look at had, and if I look at his and him, I have to look at it really carefully with the M and S.
Oh, okay. And you do this in your head?
Yeah. Sometimes I point at it.
Sometimes you point at it? Okay. When you're reading and you come to a word you don't know, what do you do?
I sound it out, I look at the picture, and if I still don't know, I ask the teacher.
Does that help you?
Yeah, a lot of times.
Which one do you find is more helpful?
Sounding it out, and sometimes picture books.
How do the pictures help you?
They help me because when you look at the picture and you're like They were holding FAH and they said fish, but you couldn't read it.
Oh, so you can see that they were...
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's a good example. So, what else do you think you could do if you're reading by yourself and no one to help you?
I think I could ask if no one was helping. I could I could skip the word and read the other sentence. Then I'll figure out what it is.
That seems like a good idea. Do you know anyone in your class besides the teacher who you think's a good reader?
I know more than enough.
You know more than enough? Like, who's someone that you think is a good reader in your class?
Ella, Claire, Donovan, Ethan.
Ella, Claire. Okay. What do you think this person does what do you think Ella does when she comes to a word that she doesn't know?
I think she sounds out too, but I think she doesn't have many pictures because she's in tractor bus, so she has to sound out or skip it again.
Okay. So, what do you like to read about?
I like to read about, sometimes I like the princess books, and sometimes,
Over here real quick. I only have a couple more questions, okay? So you read about princess books?
sometimes I read about
Tell me about
adventure books, and sometimes I read superhero books.
How do you feel about reading at school for homework?
I feel at the first day of school, I felt really mad because I didn't like reading, but I think at the end of the school year, I would really like for third grade to be 30 minutes.
Oh, so you're saying you want more because right now you have 20 minutes, right?
Yeah.
So you want more in third grade? That would make sense. How do you feel about yourself as a reader? How do you think you read?
I think I'm good and I could be bad sometimes because if I'm reading a too much big book, I could be bad and good.
Okay. What do you think you do well as a reader?
I think I'm good. I think I do good as a reader. Sometimes I'm good at the chapter books, and I'm good at the chapter books and little kid books, but I don't really read those. I look over here at the bigger books where it has bigger words.
Is there anything you would like to do better as a reader?
Yeah, I would like to read chapter books that are really big and read adult books that they read to kids because a lot of them are great.
Awesome. Okay, thanks, Kaden.